The Hammer's Edge, starring Radio Babs, Ice Chain Pure Water, this guy called Simon, this guy called Daryl, and this lady called Janine. Written and directed by Mr. Chips.
Disclaimer. No teeth were knocked out, no fingers were lost, and no hammers were harmed in the making of this story. All threats were strictly for entertainment purposes. No dentist or ER visits required.
In a dimly lit room cluttered with an array of mismatched knickknacks, the soft glow of a computer screen illuminated the angular features of Babs, better known to her online followers as Radio Babs. Her voice was a mix of gravel and condescension, crackling through her microphone like a cheap radio frequency, giving her streams a strange, almost hypnotic charm. Looking like a 60-year-old hag with a cascade of dyed auburn hair and an air of theatrical venom, Babs had built a small but fiercely loyal community on YouTube. Her niche? Chaos. Babs didn't review products or vlog about her day. She didn't dabble in cooking tutorials or share her thoughts on trending topics. No, Babs made her name by spreading lies, twisting words, and threatening anyone who dared cross her. Her streams weren't just entertainment. They were battlegrounds where her enemies, real or imagined, were dragged through the muck for her audience's amusement.
Let me tell you something, sugar,
she hissed into her mic one evening, her voice dripping with mockery as she addressed a man named Ice Chain Pure Water, a commenter who'd had the audacity to suggest Babs might be too harsh.
Ice Chain thinks he's clever. Yeah, well, let me just say this Ice Chain's teeth might find themselves in a little mishap if he keeps running that smart mouth of his. And no, honey, that's not a threat. That's a promise.
She leaned back in her chair, the springs creaking under her weight, and picked up a worn hammer from her desk. She waved it in front of the webcam, her long, bony fingers curled around the handle like talons.
You see this? This is the tooth negotiator. One swing, and bam, you're drinking soup through a straw for the rest of your life.
She laughed, a dry, humorless cackle that made her audience both cringe and cheer. Her chat exploded with comments. Tell him, Babs. Ice Chain's done for. LOL. Tooth negotiator. Merch when? But Babs wasn't satisfied with just empty threats. Her real power lay in her ability to fabricate outrageous lies that were impossible to refute. She'd accuse people of things they never said, actions they never did, weaving intricate stories that left her targets scrambling to defend themselves. Take Simon Gregg, for instance, a small-time tech reviewer with a modest channel. One day, he made the mistake of criticizing Babs' rhetoric during one of her streams. The next night, she went live with a vengeance.
Simon Gregg,
she began, her tone syrupy sweet, like a mother about to scold a child.
You all know Simon, right? Little Simon with his fancy gadgets and his smug little grin. Well, guess what I found out? Turns out Simon likes to send nasty messages to women, calling them all sorts of names. Disgusting.
The claim was a complete fabrication, but the damage was immediate. Her fans swarmed Simon's channel, leaving hate comments, downvotes, and even threats. By the time Simon realized what was happening, his reputation was in tatters. As her influence grew, so did her brazenness. Babs started escalating her threats, targeting not just her critics, but anyone who dared question her dominance. One infamous night, she turned her wrath on a viewer named Daryl who left a single comment. "This is too far, Babs."
Daryl,
she barked, slamming her hand on the desk. The hammer rattled ominously.
Oh, sweet Daryl, do you think I don't know where you live? Do you think I can't find you? I'll tell you what, how about I pay you a little visit and see how many fingers you've got left after we're done having a chat.
Her grin stretched wide, revealing yellowed teeth.
You like typing so much. Daryl, we'll see how well you can do it without any damn fingers.
Behind the scenes, though, cracks in Babs' empire began to form. The internet is a wild beast, and for every sycophant cheering her on, there were just as many people plotting her downfall. One such individual was Janine, a former fan turned whistleblower. After months of watching Babs destroy lives, Janine decided to fight back. She began compiling clips of Babs' most damning rants, pairing them with evidence that disproved her lies. Slowly, she built a case against Radio Babs, exposing her manipulation, cruelty, and threats. One morning, Babs woke to find her inbox flooded with messages, not from her fans, but from strangers accusing her of being a fraud, a bully, and worse. Her subscriber count plummeted as Janine's exposé spread like wildfire. Babs, of course, went live immediately.
Y'all think you can cancel me?
She snarled, the hammer in her hand once again.
You think I'm scared of a bunch of keyboard warriors? I've got news for your Radio Babs doesn't stop. You come for me, and I'll come back twice as hard.
But this time, her threats rang hollow. The world had finally seen through the facade. Months later, the channel was abandoned. Its final video a pathetic plea for her remaining followers to fight the good fight. Babs faded into obscurity, her reputation tarnished beyond repair. Yet, some say she never truly disappeared. Occasionally, whispers of her resurface on fringe forums, claiming she's still out there, lurking under a new alias, waiting for the right moment to strike again. After all, the hammer never lies dormant for long.
I am a fucking warrior that was meant for something bigger. I'm not here to find excuses. I'm here to make a mark, to be strong and improve every day. I am a fucking champion, and nothing will ever stop me.